Hi, my name is Jake Silverstein, and I'm doing the appeal to motive. Looking at appeal to motive, it can definitely bring up a lot of questions as there's many advantages, disadvantages, and things in your life that really can seen as being effective. Um, Appeal to motive really provides a question on why you chose that side, and people believe what they want, and that is why there are advantages and disadvantages. Um, is the person you're talking to, are you being truthful with them? And if not, that can be seen as appealing to motive, because if you're picking one side over the other, a lot of people have questions and they tend to believe in something that may or may not be true. Are they picking a side on purpose? That can also be seen as appeal to motive, because if they're picking a side on purpose, that explains appeal to motive perfectly, because they're doing that for a reason, and it might not be a good reason, and it could be a good reason, but that also explains the advantages versus the disadvantages. What are their reasonings behind their thought process? If they have no reasonings, then why are they choosing that side, and what makes them think that way? That can be very a big problem in talking about appeal to motive. And then, is there bias or not, which is the biggest part, because you have all these people in the real world, whether it's a job, whatever it is, in a sports game, that they're biased towards something, and that really explains the appeal to motive. Looking at the advantages, you can see that they can explain that they're looking out for their own interest, and that they're choosing that side for no specific reason, just that that's what they think is right. And although a lot of people might not think that's right, that's their explanation, and you have to believe it. Is their feeling that way logical? Can they come up with an explanation? And if so, then there's no reason to believe that appealing the motive is a disadvantage at all. Seeing that is bias and is actually not, putting the other people in the position that show that it is not negative and that they are actually not biased, and instead that is how they actually feel, is huge. And lastly, supporting their reasonings. Do they have any support for their reasonings, and an explanation on why they believe that is huge. Looking at the disadvantages, it's huge. An example is a referee in a game coming from the same town or same club as the team that's winning or getting all the calls. You can see definitely a bias in that, and it's huge because that is a big disadvantage in seeing the appeal to motive, because it's proving that they are not doing the right thing, and it is most definitely not fair. And are they doing it for a reason? Because if they are doing it for a reason, then it is important to not only know that that is not right, but that is very unfair and mostly illegal, to be honest. Another example is someone saying that she is cheating on you, and they actually are just not looking out for your best interest, and they are actually just trying to take your girlfriend, which is an example of appealing to motive. Another example is somebody asking for a personal favor. Let's just say the President of the United States is going to get appealed, and one of the people higher up who is making that decision decides that if you do me a favor, then everything will be okay and I will not share the news. Then that is most definitely appeal to motive. Another example is if you have a job, and let's just say your husband is the owner, and there's people looking to get the job, and they just choose a family member or someone who you are really close with right away, and you don't have any experience or you haven't put in any of the work that the other people have, then that is most definitely appeal to motive. There are many different appeals to motive, and it can most definitely affect people in all different ways depending on the situation. And although there are advantages, there are most definitely a lot of disadvantages, and you can see appealing to motive in your everyday life. And it is extremely important to recognize this, because It will really help you in the real world. And also, if there's something wrong and something unfair, you will most definitely pick up on it right away. Thanks.